I love people who start things. I really do. And before you think that I'm about to talk about entrepreneurship, I want to make a distinction as I talk to you about this because the distinction I want to make is between an entrepreneur and a founder. You know, we talk a lot about entrepreneurship and how important it is to our economy. And we want to encourage entrepreneurship all across this country and all around the world. And I agree, entrepreneurship is really important. But I believe that there's a segment of entrepreneurship that we're forgetting, and that is the person that defines themselves as a founder. Now, to the average person, this may sound like one and the same. It may sound like I'm talking about the same person, but hear me out. There's something distinctly different about a founder. You know, a founder is someone who starts something. A founder is someone who creates something. But I believe that a founder is creating something to last. They're creating something and they're putting love into it. And frankly, they're more concerned about serving people, delivering a product to someone, creating an organization than they are making that business case work. In fact, I would say that what's unique about a founder is a founder tends to create something and then figure out how they can turn it into a business. One of the classic examples is the school that I went to as a young boy. I went to a school called Brooklyn Junior Academy. And the principal at the school, her name was Dorothy Bostick. And Dorothy Bostick created this school because she believed that she could create an environment where she could teach primarily young African American kids at a very high level. She felt that academics were important, but she also felt that social skills were important, understanding of the arts, fellowship with one another, and to have an environment where there were certain standards, and those standards were very high. She began to teach students in a brownstone and ultimately found a school building that she could start this school in or expand this school into. And one of the interesting things about it is she found this building, and the person who had the building didn't think that she was going to come up with the money, but she did. And she came up with the money, and that was the beginning of Brooklyn Junior Academy. Now, let me tell you about my experience there. This was an experience where you felt the love of the administration, of the principal, of the teachers, but you also felt that there was something else going on there. You felt that you were in this environment because there was a belief that you could be at the highest levels of society and that you should be exposed to that opportunity. As a result, we had some wonderful opportunities to go to the greatest new museums in New York. It was a school where you would wear a uniform. And to this day, sometimes I'll run into someone and I'll tell them that I went to that school and they'll immediately react. What's interesting about it is I didn't quite realize at the time what I was experiencing. But as I connect with some of the students that I knew from over the years, I realized that, oh yes, this was a different place. And it was a different place because the person had a founder's attitude. They were creating something that was unique. If you look at great companies, we often talk about Apple Computer, and recently Dell Computer was privatized, taken off of the public markets. I believe that these companies are different because of the founder's commitment to changing the world. The founder is committed to something quite different than what we think of as an entrepreneur. Yes, entrepreneurship is important. We have to have the business case. We have to make sure that it works economically and financially, and that we are advancing the business in its market. But the difference between a founder and the typical entrepreneur is that the founder believes that it's important to change the world, and they set out to change the world. We need more founders in this world. We need more people who are determined to change the world. We need people who start things, who are committed to making those things happen, and committed to changing the world because they want to make something happen that's big and that's beyond just the business.